All right, everybody, this is Marcus from the Deep Dive Discography Podcast. Today, I am joined with the entirety of Bodysnatcher. How we doing today, fellas?
Doing good.
Great.
Really good.
How's tour going so far?
Really awesome. Great. Really great. Really simple.
How's it feel to tour with such legends as Grin and Dying Fetus?
Grin, this is our second tour with Grin, so we're really good friends with those guys. So it's
Oh,
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
Dying Fetus, it's crazy because it's a band that started the genre that we're in, basically.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They've been around forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we've all been huge fans of that band forever. It's crazy. And they're super awesome guys. So
Kind of surreal to be touring with them, right?
Yeah. And just becoming normal with them and just regular hanging out with them every day. It's just crazy. It's awesome. Yeah.
Cool. So what I was going to ask you guys, I've noticed you guys have grown bigger a lot in the past couple of years, particularly for your new album. I think it's awesome. It's definitely my favorite work of yours so far.
Thank you.
What do you think has contributed to you guys kind of blowing up in more recent times and kind of getting a little bit more of a wider audience?
Definitely not stopping during COVID.
Yeah. During COVID, we did not stop.
Amen.
So when COVID hit, we had just signed to a new label, and we asked them if we could. We were like, hey, could we just put out singles that aren't part of a record and just do singles with music videos once every other month or so, just until all this kind of lets up? And they were like, yeah, let's do it. So the fact that we kept writing music and putting music out consistently throughout the time that everyone wasn't allowed to tour, I felt helped us a lot.
Are record label contracts usually kind of more restrictive about releasing singles away from the albums?
A little bit, I guess.
They were really cool about it for us.
Yeah, they were very cool about it. They thought it was a great idea, so they let us roll with it.
So the audience knows, which label are you guys with right now?
We were signed to Monarch Heavy.
Oh, okay. Who were you with before?
It was Modern Empire.
Oh, okay. How do you feel the change has been going into Monarch?
Huge, massively different. It's way more organized, way more opportunities. I don't know. We just if we have an idea, we ask them about it, and they're normally there with funding, and it's just it's very awesome. They're super good.
Well, it's awesome that they've been super receptive to you guys and very supportive of what you guys are doing. That's fantastic.
Yeah, we're one of the bands on the heavier side on the label, so I feel like they, they're really behind us because there's not a whole bunch of bands in our same genre on the label, so they're really responsive with us.
So how do you guys feel about the modern state of metal? Because one thing I noticed is that this concert that we're at today, it's really diverse because you got Frozen Soul, you got Undeath, we got you guys, we have Grin, so a little of death metal, a little bit of deathcore going on. How do you think that reflects the current state of metal music?
You can definitely notice the combination of all the different people at every show. So that part of it's been really cool to just kind of see if we can grab those different fans that wouldn't usually see us.
Yeah, it's just cool to be. Everybody's playing in front of people that they normally wouldn't get to play in front of on this tour. The death metal bands are getting to play for deathcore fans, and the deathcore bands are getting to play for death metal fans. So it's it's a really cool combination. So everybody's gaining new fans that normally sometimes wouldn't give that band a shot. You know what I mean? But basically every night for us, it's been people that are huge death metal fans that watch us, and they're like, "Gonna be honest, never would have listened to your band, but you guys were fucking sick," So it's been really cool, and I think doing mixed genre shows that are still we're all in the same genre, but there's little subgenres. But the fact that we're mixed is really helping everybody on the tour a lot.
Yeah. I was going to say, when I was a teenager, I remember the MySpace days of deathcore. That's when I was kind of more around. So we all remember the YouTube compilations where it's the most brutal breakdown that'll make you commit serial felonies and stuff like that.
All of us were in those bands back then.
Am I mistaken? You played with King Conquer at one point?
Yep.
That was many years ago at this point, right?
Yeah, the last tour we did was 2015.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Then you guys came up shortly thereafter, kind of thing.
Yep. Well, I joined the band a little bit after that. 2018.
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
Yeah, and he was in Float Face Down.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he was in a band called Beacons. So we were all like in that era of deathcore bands coming up, and we all toured during those times too.
Yeah. Oh, do you guys know each other from previous tours of the past?
Me and him our bands were on the same record label back in the day.
Oh,
so
I
we
see.
toured together.
That's
The
cool.
first tour I ever did was with King Dunkers.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding. Wow. I was going to say, was that intimidating at first for like, because I remember when I was growing up again in that MySpace, I was both into death metal and deathcore simultaneously, and those two audiences did not mix.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So what do you think happened? What changed in the water to make maybe the audiences blend a little bit more? I'm still trying to figure that one myself.
I feel like that separation is still there.
Yeah.
But
To an extent, yeah.
but people like now if you're put in front of people, they're a little more open to accepting it than they used to be.
Yeah.
I don't know what changed that, but I don't know. In my opinion, heavy music is fucking awesome. So if you think a band's awesome, why not like them? You know,
Yeah.
like that's all.
I think
there is
it's
to it.
all kind of blending together. Like a lot of, from what I noticed, a lot of the different genre bands are doing like those different parts now. I guess if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like
Like
that's what I'm noticing more.
Frozen
like,
Souls, like, you
like
know,
more hardcore stuff, more
Yeah.
hardcore elements are being
Exactly.
put into death metal now and stuff like that.
And Dying Fetus was like the originator of that. Like they have so many hardcore riffs. You know, they have so many riffs that are hardcore riffs, but they have death metal drumming on top of them. You know, so it's like bands like that. I feel like really bring the two genres together because if you like a Dying Fetus riff, you're gonna like a hardcore band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you like a Dying Fetus slam, you're gonna like modern day deathcore bands. You know, so
Yeah.
like you can't deny it.
It's
you know?
just realizing it while you're watching it
Exactly,
like live.
yeah.
You're like, holy shit,
Yep.
this is like not what I thought it was.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's cool.
Well, something I've noticed too, like listening back to Dying Fetus, kind of preparing myself to, like, you know, for the show, I was like going back to some of their older records. I was like, man, the New York hardcore influence reeks all over this band. Like, this is something
Oh, yeah.
I kind of like never really noticed when I was like a younger
Yeah.
teenager, but now that I'm older and seeing this bill,
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. And I even watched a live video of Undeath to prepare myself for today, and the singer was like, Alex was like, hey, I want to see all of you guys two-step to like these riffs and stuff like that. I thought that was like so cool.
And they're like they're like one of the only bands out right now that like they're a real death metal band. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Undeath is a true death metal band, and it's they're awesome dudes too. We love
Yeah.
that band.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's really awesome to see like all these different bands together. Oh, thank you. So one thing I want to comment on is like, you guys like seem like so nice and everything, and I noticed that your lyrics are like really aggressive and almost, I don't want to say cartoonish, because I don't want to like diminish it, but they're very like "fuck you, motherfucker" style lyrics, and I really like that. I think that's like really cool and stuff. But where's that come from?
There's really only aspects of the lyrics that are like that. Most of our lyrics on the last two records are about family loss and about real situations that we've been through in life. And then with the newest record, it's really about finding ways to overcome those bad situations in life and see the positive side of it.
Yeah.
So that's basically what our latest record was about, was like, you know, about situations that we've been through, like death or depression, and then finding the way to see the positive on the other side of that to become a better person.
I take it the pandemic must have influenced a lot of that attitudes in recent times, right?
I would say one of the singles we did was during like the main like first lockdown, and there were the lyrics from that one were kind of reflective of how I was currently feeling. The song "Take Me to Hell," it was just one of the singles.
Yeah.
But that one was like very like depression motivated because of the time that it was written.
Yeah.
So.
I'm guessing the pandemic must have really impeded on like potential tour plans you guys had.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
How'd you guys cope with that? How'd you guys make the best of it? Yeah.
Just by releasing music, writing music, and trying to stay active, trying to stay in the eyes of as many people as we could without being able to tour.
It helped us individually just as much as it helped like the band. So just to help us keep sane at the same time as just helping keep us relevant and everything during all that.
Well, because that must have been like huge for you guys, because I heard of you guys actually during kind of like pandemic times. Like when I started hearing about you guys was in like the 2021 kind of, 2020 kind of time you started releasing some of those other singles. So that must have been like huge on you guys,
Yeah, it was for sure.
So do you guys all live in Florida still?
Yeah.
Cool.
He
cool.
actually just moved down here. He used to fly back and forth. But
Yeah, I was living in Pennsylvania when I joined the band, and I just moved down in like September. So finally don't have to fly anymore.
Yeah. What was that like? Like having playing with a band in a completely different set. I imagine logistically it must have been an absolute nightmare.
yeah, he would fly down
it
every
was
time.
it was annoying. It was like pretty much every month I was flying down to film a video or to write
I see.
music or to record something or go on tour.
Yeah.
So it was pretty annoying, but made it work and finally
Yeah.
moved down to Florida, make things easier.
Yeah, we handled it for sure.
That's awesome. I was gonna say, what's the Florida scene like these days? Are you guys still in touch with the local scene? Or are you guys doing
Yeah. We're pretty connected with all of it. We all of our Florida shows always crush. He like books shows sometimes still too.
I book shows sometimes. I work with a lot of the Florida bands as well. Like just helping them, just like trying to steer them in the right direction and stuff.
Yeah. Would you say the Florida scene's like a good mix of like a lot of different genres?
Mm-hmm. I would
Okay.
say so. There's a lot of hardcore. There's a lot of deathcore.
Yeah.
So
Now there's coming up with death metal like Body Box. And,
yeah, there's a lot of death metal too. So
yeah.
it's very diverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I actually toured the States many years ago when we came to Florida. We were kind of doing some DIY spaces and kind of doing the bars in the Orlando area. So it seems like you guys had a really thriving hardcore scene down there.
Yeah, I would say so.
And definitely, I'm sure also the audiences you have in the Florida area are kind of like a mixed bag. You got some of the death metal kids, you got some of the hardcore kids kind of coming out to your shows and stuff like that.
deathcore kids. Yeah.
Yeah, right on.
Lots and lots of deathcore over in our areas. Yeah.
Right on. So what's next for Bodysnatcher in the upcoming years to come?
More tours and more music and ripping shows and ripping burgers.
Ripping breakdowns.
Ripping birds. That's right.
Breakdowns and burgers. We have in the next couple months we're announcing some of the biggest tours that we've ever
Oh,
announced.
excellent.
So
Yeah.
Can't say what it is yet, but
Of course,
when it comes out, we are extremely excited for the rest of this year and next year. Yeah.
Kind of making up for lost time that you guys lost during pandemic times, right?
Just trying to grind as hard and as hard as we can just to keep the growth going.
Well, right on, Phyllis. Thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to y'all. I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys play tonight.
Thank
you, man.